morning and welcome back to Wavra Farms. Today we wanted to talk about fertilizers and how to plant your plants, how to maintain your plants, and kind of what your fertilizer routine should be. So first off, we're going to talk about Espoma today. Espoma is an organic product. It's made in the Pacific Northwest, so it's great for the Pacific Northwest. It's a very visual line. It's got pictures of all of its bags showing you what you're going to use it for. And so we're just going to get started talking about each product, how to use it, how to apply it to give you that beautiful garden that you have always wanted, or to improve the garden that you have. So first off, the first product that you should always use is Biotone Starter Food. Now, what does starter food mean? It means that this is what you are going to use when you plant something for the first time. So, it has mycorrhizae in it, which is a healthy fungus that attaches to the roots of the plant and gets those roots to take off, go deeper into your soil, improve the soil that you have, and just give your plants the best start. So, this can be used on everything and should be used on everything that you plant. Whether it be a perennial, a shrub, a blueberry, a tree, or your annuals, or your garden crops, this is what you need to get your plants off to a healthy start. This is the only product that is applied at root level. So you need to make sure that when you're applying it, you dig your hole, you throw a handful in the bottom of the hole, you put your plant in, and then you backfill. This is your insurance policy that your plants are going to take off and get a great start. After applying this, you wait about a month, and then you come back and you reapply one of their other fertilizers. I also like to point out to all of my customers, because we all tend to have bags that get wet or problems with bags. All of their bags are plastic, they're watertight, and there's a Velcro seal, so that if you don't use it all, it's really easy to seal back up, put it on the shelf so it's ready again for next time. So again, I just want to emphasize, Biotone Starter Fertilizer is exactly what it says. It's for when you plant your plants for the first time and you start them. After that, you'll come back, and based on what you're going to fertilize or what you just planted, either you will grab a plant tone, which is good for everything in the yard. Plant tone is like an all-purpose fertilizer. You can use it on your grass, you can use it on your vegetable garden, your flower garden, anything in the yard. So, if you only want to buy one bag of fertilizer, plant tone is probably the option for you. Now, flower tone is basically what you're going to use on all of your annuals and your perennials. It has a bloom booster in it, so anything that flowers during the spring, summer, and fall season, this is what you're going to want to apply. This works really well on petunias in the flower bed, and you only have to apply it once a month. So instead of mixing up your liquid feed and doing it every week, you can just grab a handful and just scatter it out into the flower bed. Flower tone for everything in the garden that is a softer stem and flowers. Next, we have rose tone. Espoma has been quoted as saying that if you use rose tone on your roses for 3 years consecutively, at the rate that it suggests, it will help to eliminate part of the black spot problem that is often common with roses. So this is applied monthly from the middle of the growing season till September. So usually about June through September, you're going to put it on monthly on your roses. However, even though it has a rose on the picture, it's also good for anything that's woody stemmed and flowering. So it's great for your hydrangeas, your lilacs, and some of your other summer blooming plants. This is applied on top of the soil around the drip line. Now, many customers have been coming in and you've freshly planted your fruit trees with the Biotone starter fertilizer and asking, what do I apply now? The fruit tree and shrub, so it's actually fruit and shade tree food. So any deciduous tree that either produces fruit or just leaves, this is the fertilizer that you're going to use. And based on the size of the tree, depends on how much you're going to apply. You usually put this on in the spring and then again in the fall. And that's how this is going to work. It's going to help with fruit production, and it's just going to take care of any nutrient deficiencies that your trees might have. But this is only for trees that lose their leaves. Our next product is Berry Tone. Again, we love Espoma because it is so visual. It's got a great picture on it showing you exactly what it can be used for. So this is obviously used for your berries. If you have an existing bed, you come in the spring and then one other time in the summer, and you fertilize a couple times during the season. And it is going to give you bigger fruit. It's a slower release, and it will help to improve your berry crop drastically. Because it's organic, it's very safe to use around your fresh produce. Now, we also have Azalea Tone, which Azalea Tone is an acid-loving fertilizer. It's got a picture of azaleas and rhodies on the front. However, Espoma has been so handy that if you read the side panel, it will also tell you what other acid-loving plants you can use this fertilizer on. The reason I mention this is because some of these come in larger bags. So our Azalea Tone does come in an 18-pound bag. And it is also good for your blueberry crop. So if you do have several large blueberries, you can easily use the Azalea Tone in a bigger bag. Saves you a little bit of money on your blueberry crop. And the reason we know that is because the numbers are the same. Espoma uses very low numbers so that the plants can take up the nutrition that is being applied at the time. You're not wasting anything just sitting there in the soil waiting. So both of these are a 4-3-4. And they both tell you right on the side of the bag. That way you know that if you have a large batch of blueberries, you can use the Azalea Tone on those. Now, when we get down here, because it is gardening season, and many of you are working in the garden, we want to talk about our Garden Tone. Garden Tone is basically an all-purpose organic fertilizer for the garden. So remember, you're going to plant all of your veggies with our Biotone starter, just like all of your other plants. And then you're going to come in monthly and you're going to sprinkle this out into the garden. So this is good for your corn, your peppers, your carrots, your peas, your onions, anything that you might plant in the garden. Now, you're going to wonder, this is an awful big bag of tomato tone. You probably don't plant this many tomatoes to use a whole bag. Why would I want a bag this large for my 1 or 2 tomato plants? It's got a tomato on the front called tomato tone. However, what you may not know is tomato tone can be used for every vegetable crop in your garden that produces a fruit. So tomatoes, pepper, your zucchinis, pepper, zucchini, cucumbers, tomatoes, and pumpkins. Sorry, Andrew had to help me out with that one. So what it does is it helps to keep that blossom on. It gives it enough calcium so you don't end up with that blossom end rot. And you get fully formed fruits and veggies in your garden. So this works really well for anything that is going to flower that might get blossom end rot. This is what you want to use. It's higher in calcium for your plants. After, of course, you use this. So then we come down here to the bulb tone. Bulb tone is a great product to use this time of year as your bulbs are beginning to take in the last of the nutrients before they go dormant. You can sprinkle this on, give them one last boost to help them increase foliar intake. You also use this at time of planting. So if you're planting summer blooming bulbs, this is a great time to use it. In the fall, when you're planting those daffodil bulbs, use this one again at time of planting. We do have just a couple other products that we sell that we'd like to talk about. Another one is our iron tone, and it's for plants that are lacking nutrients. So maybe you have something that should have greener foliage, and the foliage is more of this yellowy, limey color. It's an easy one to sprinkle on to correct that deficiency. I've also tried this in parts of my lawn, and you can use it to green up your lawn. It says right on the bag, for a greener lawn and garden. Non-staining, helps lower the soil pH, turns yellow leaves deep green for lawns, veggies, trees, and shrubs. So this is just a great one to have on hand just in case you do have a deficiency during the summertime. Another of our products that we really enjoy is our evergreen tone. And just as it shows here on the picture, this is for all of your conifers. Anything that is going to have the needles on it. This is going to help to promote growth and color. It's slow release, and it's ideal for all evergreen trees and shrubs. And so this one you are going to feed twice a year, usually the spring and the fall is when you're going to want to provide this product. So we were talking about some of our flower beds earlier. Espoma also makes these great little fertilizers. This is their Bloom Booster. So it's called Super Bloom Booster Bloom. And this has what they call like the Tide cap on it. It does not have an odor to it. You take and you dump a cap into a watering can, and this you're only feeding usually about once a month. So it's not, actually, sorry, every 2 weeks is usually what you're figuring for the Bloom Booster. This works really well. A lot of you are familiar with like the Miracle Grow where you're doing it constantly. This is an all organic product that is going to feed instantly, and it's going to help to boost the bloom. On this, you can also use it on your tomatoes to get a higher bloom set. So this is really nice. We suggest to our customers to use this in our hanging baskets. And then some of them, if they have it, they'll use it out like in their flower beds as well. But we really like the flower tone. And we also tell our customers that you can use flower tone in your hanging baskets. We tried it last year and it was phenomenal. It is a chicken manure base. This one is, I mean, they all are because of the organics. So I don't recommend using the flower tone in the bag if you're going to have company coming over. Do it a few days ahead. It's called planning accordingly. So if you're going to fertilize the week ahead. You lift up the foliage in your hanging basket, throw a handful in, water it, and after watering it a few times, you won't notice a smell anymore in your basket. But that way, then you're not trying to mix and dump that watering can clear up over your head. So the other product that they have is called Grow. Now, Grow is used on your houseplants because we're really not pushing bloom. That's the difference. Grow is also used on seed starting or freshly planted new seedlings because it has a lower number on it and it is not trying to push bloom. So whether you need to encourage more buds with bloom or more roots with Grow, Espoma has a product that will work in anyone's yard. What I want you to take away from this is very simple. It's a very visual product. The most important one to have is the Biotone Starter Fertilizer which is your insurance policy, to give your plant that healthy, happy start. It's used at the base, in the hole. Dig your hole, throw a handful in, and plant, and then come back and apply whichever fertilizer based on what you planted. Thanks so much for watching, and happy gardening.